Welcome to the segment on upwind sailing in the Interlake. I've laid out this video similar to how you would start the day on a typical race course. First thing we're going to do is get all our settings sorted out. Notice that both Ryan, Kyle, and myself were looking up at the sail plan, trying to get all our controls intact. You see I just pulled in the lazy spinnaker sheet out of the water. It's another indication that we're just getting ourselves going here. We're looking at all of our adjustments, getting ready to head upwind. The first thing that Ryan and I want to do is move our crew weight a little closer together. The further apart we are, the more the boat's going to want to pitch. So we want to center our weight just slightly in front of the main sheet block. This gives us a good position on the hiking straps and gets us in a good centralized position on the boat. The next thing we want to do is get the boom vang and centerboard completely adjusted and ready for racing. The centerboard is set up so that we can balance the helm appropriately. I like to carry it just a few inches up, and the boom vang needs to have full range through the puffs and lulls. Once we have the vang and centerboard adjusted to our liking, we then look up the sail plan and make sure that we have the sails set up properly. There's two things that I focus on. One is the leech of the jib, and the other is the luff of the main. I want to make sure that the jib leech is nice and symmetrical top to bottom, running straight back with the center line of the boat. Once the jib's set up properly, then I can attack the mainsail to be sure that I have very little backwind in the main. Next thing I want to do is I want to manage my helm. Here you'll see that we have the video running from behind the boat. What I'd like for you to focus in on is how the tiller is riding relative to the center line of the boat. This is something that I look at very closely to judge how much helm I have in the boat. The further the tiller is off of center line, the more helm that I have. And then what I do is adjust the mainsail out to see if the helm goes away. If it does not, then I'll pull the centerboard up a few inches. Once I'm comfortable with how the helm feels, either with the centerboard or with the main trim, then I'll run through a number of maneuvers with my crew just to make sure we're comfortable in the boat. Here Ryan and I go through a tack. Notice that we're not out of control going into the tack, and we're not out of control coming out of the tack. It's not a perfect tack, but it's the first one of the day, and it's used to make sure that we have our footing down and our crew work coordinated. Let's take a closer look, this time in slow motion. As we go into the tack, notice how far out the main sheet is and how balanced the boat is. This allows the boat to track on its own without the use of the sails. I like this setup in bigger breeze so you don't come out of the tack with too much power. Ryan and I both cross in unison when the bow goes through the eye of the wind. When the breeze is up, similar to this day, you want to make sure that your main sheet is uncleated. That ensures proper balance. If you get hit with a sudden puff, you can ease out the main very easily. Notice Ryan looking up at the jib, making sure that he sets it not too tight because that'll disturb the mainsail. Once we exit the tack and the boat is in good balance, we then do the fine tune on the sails. The goal is to be smooth and not stall the boat out. As we make our way upwind, we want to make sure that we're fine-tuning the sail plan. Here you'll see that Ryan and I are looking up at the mainsail, and we're clearly looking at something that just doesn't seem right. As we go through our analysis, we see that the outhaul is just plain too loose, creating too round of a mainsail. So what we do is ease the main, Ryan comes in off the rail, makes the adjustment to the outhaul. After we make the adjustment, we analyze the sail plan again, and as you can see through the draft stripes, the back end of the mainsail is flatter, which means that the exit is cleaner and it's a more efficient shape going upwind. Now let's take a look at various steering styles. For years, we learned as junior sailors and taught as coaches to drive across your body. This is one of the more natural ways of driving a boat and gives you proper leverage. By keeping your arms at a constant angle You're able to maintain your strength and have good pull on both the tiller and the main sheet. Because this steering style is so natural, we often see oversteering when it's not necessary. You just have to remind yourself not to drive as hard, because the more you tug on the tiller, the more drag there is on the rudder. Another method of driving upwind is steering behind your body. Here you'll see how that is demonstrated. The benefit of driving this way is that you can clamp the hiking tiller down on the deck, and it limits the amount of tiller that you use, thus reducing the amount of drag in the rudder. It's great for flat water, fast speed conditions. Give both styles a try. In the end, you're going to go with what's most comfortable. The Interlake is a heavy helmed boat, so steering across your body might be the best way for you to track the boat upwind. In the end, what's most important is making sure that the boat's going through the water as fast as possible. Understand the controls and the helm of the Interlake.